Okay, so if we look back here, we haven't got all of these joists in, and that's because we're trying to get our drain pipe. This is going to be the master bath above us, and we have a tub over on that far wall, and I wanted to pick up that drain and get it ran in here without having to piece it together with short pieces that would go up inside of the 16-inch joists. So we're putting it in now and just not even putting elbows on it. Probably not. If I need more than one stick, I won't even put a union. I'll just stick it up there and glue it later. But the how I'm getting the correct slope and knowing where to drill these holes, because if you can see, there's not a lot of slop in there. I ran a string, pulled my measurement off of that wall, ran a string, and then figured out the slope that I needed for this room and put the string on that slope. And then I found kind of a happy medium of where I wanted to go through, and I put a mark on this piece of wood and lined it up with the string, and then draw a mark at the top, and that's the center point of the hole where we're putting the hole, center bit of the hole saw. And so if my string is on the correct 1/4 inch per foot slope, then the pipe will be too, because it kept the same measurement all the way down. And so far my holes are lining up fairly well, so it's at least uniformly wrong if it's wrong. No, it's right.
It's right.
It's right. And no, I did not think of that. I saw that on some channel.
Not an original idea.
Not an original idea. There are very few original ideas.
Shared inspiration.
There you go. Beg, borrow, and steal. Ooh, that one had to tear up. That made it easier to get the plug out.
There's one more. Where is she? Oh, buddy. Oh, my goodness. She found the mud puddle. Radar!
Time of the tone is 4:33. Would you like a drink of water?
You have to do like action.
Action.
Action. Okay. Good morning, YouTube. Well, we are getting close on our joists. We got one little section right over here to do, and just wanted to show you guys, you know, this 15-degree angle that we put in here. It's going to be cool when we get it done, but it is what cost us so much time, including one blowout when we were pouring our wall. You can see the all the concrete on there. That actually gave way. Our external braces were not sufficient. They say that you never know the braces that are sufficient, but you always know the ones that are not. So always put in more. Okay, what we got over here, part of that 15 degrees, all of these joists are running perpendicular to the wall. But when we get over here, we couldn't get perpendicular to the wall because this wall is not perpendicular to that wall. And so we shifted, and this was all done by the actual joist company that we went through. They had it all designed up, and they have engineering software that figures the loads and everything. It's pretty nice. So this portion turned sideways so that we would have the necessary support and screw area for the top. But that meant that these were going perpendicular to this joist, but not perpendicular over here. And so they make a special hanger called a skew hanger, and that's what that hanger is right there. If you look on this side, that 90 degree is closed up a bit by 15 degrees. And on this side, it meant that it pulled it out away from the wall, so it actually has to tip back, and then that wing tips out, and that fills in that gap that's created by twisting that. And so, you know, that's what we had to do on those. Getting those bent up, the method that I have been using is I took one of our offcuts that was cut at our 15 degrees off of 90. And the first thing that I do, we're going over here. So I got to figure in, all right, so it needs to sit like this. So this angle needs to close up by 15. This angle needs to open up, but it's not by 15. It just opens up enough to get this back to the wall. So I use this like a protractor, set it on there, bend it down a little bit. That's what these relief cuts are in there, to allow you to be able to bend that. And that is pretty good right there. So that matches that angle. So we know that that's going to be pretty good. Now when you set it down on the table, like it would be on the joist hanger, can you see this?
Oh, sorry.
Now you can see that this is off of the table. So now I got to get this folded back down. So we take this, fold it out a little bit. Not quite there. Fold it out some more. Okay, so now we're touching the table again, but we're not flat, and we don't have any place to put our nails. So then this guy has to, this is the hardest one because you don't have any leverage. And then these skew hangers also skew, if you were doing rafters, they skew up and down to allow a rafter to come in here. And it also changes the geometry a little bit when you're doing this. So you kind of got to play with that guy too. Needs to go a little bit flatter. I don't want too much. And then when we get done, we should be able to, that's on the wrong side. Let me add that one. To mock this up like it was hanging up on the wall, come around and you can see that this side's fitting flat to the wall, this side's fitting flat to the wall, and this is sitting flat. So that we know that once we get that up on the wall, we should be good to go. And these are a little bit forgiving. They move a little bit, but you want them, you know, fairly close. We don't have to, because we're not supporting any walls above this, we don't have any squash blocks or stiffeners in here. But if you did, then you would also have to worry about flipping these down to have a nailing plane. We're nailing, toe nailing this to the ledger board, and that gives us our top support. And then we screw in from the bottom to suck it down and give us our bottom support. And so we shouldn't need any stiffeners in here to screw to, because that you would put double half-inch plywood in here, and then you would have to worry about these tabs being flush or parallel with this face, and then you could screw them or screw or nail them right to it. We don't have to worry about that, but I do have to worry about that now. Now, to mount these, this is the other problem that I was having, is all the top mounts are easy. You just hang them on it, I did it the wrong way. No!
You cut your thing wrong?
No, I bent this wrong. Back to the drawing board.
Do it twice.
This, by the way, is the drawing board.
That table.
That's the screw that I used to plug up the adhesive. Okay, so now we get to undo this. Actually, we might have an extra. Okay, so now we closed up this side this time, and that means that we have to open up this side. There's that one. All right, I like it. Now let's go back.
Ow.
Okay, so on these, if you can get around here, we put a line. This is our center line. And if I put this right up next to that center line, when I screw this toenail in, it will move this board that way, but I don't know how much because it's covering the line. So I put it on there, strike another line, and I know I need to go back to the center of that. So I mark a little place in the center. And now, if I start with it all the way to that side of the center, kind of on the unlevel floor around the floor drain and sump pump pit. Okay, and then I get this flush, or if not, just a little proud of the top because I can't get it super tight. So I'm just proud of the top of the L. Okay. Now you can see that that's the little line I made, and as I tighten that up, it just kept moving that over until I'm right there. So now that I know that I should be right on my center line, or really darn close. And then up top, we're just a little bit proud because when I hang this, you'll see here in a second, I won't be all the way tight, so that gives me just a little bit more room to, when it drops down, to be really close. Okay. Whoa, moved it. That's the other reason why you want that line, so you can take a look down and make sure you're still on it. This is one of the harder parts. Grab that. You need 3 hands because you're trying to keep it up tight. Line up at least one side.
Do you want me to hold?
No, I think I'm all right. And now I'm sighting down here to make sure I'm fairly plumb up and down. I'm still good on my marks on my joist, so we're good. Okay, do the same thing over here. Look down your joist hangers, make sure they're pretty good. Oops. At least get one nail in it. All right, nailed in tight. This, by the way, is amazing. These little palm nailers. This is just the Menards Mastercraft version. I think it was like $39, $35, something like that. I knew we were going to be driving a bunch of these little nails, and I suck at swinging a hammer. This thing is awesome. Okay, we take a look down it. Everything looks good. We're flat on the bottom. We're parallel on both of those. So we're ready to nail this thing off. Okay, now we take our screws out. and save our little piece because that's what we're gonna use for the next one.
You know, if you talk while you use power tools, it's kind of hard to hear you.
What? If you don't wear ear protection while you're using power tools, it's kind of hard to hear you. Okay, so now we have an interesting situation here. Can you get me another key hanger, please? We come off of here, and our 16 inches would put us like the center, right up next to that hanger, and that's not gonna work. Our 4 foot lands right here, so that we know as we're sheathing this from the outside, we should have a panel break right here. Our next panel break's not gonna be until 1, 2, 3, till right here. So this one, by the install instructions, you can move these up to 3 inches, usually to get around plumbing, like toilets or showers or whatever. You can move these up to 3 inches every third one. So if I moved this one, 1, 2, I could then move this one if I needed to. So that's every third one. Well, if I tighten that up next to that, from that center line to that center line is like just a hair over 3 inches. But we're only talking about a foot here. The only reason we have this, instead of just having something run straight down here, is to give us a place to be able to screw the ends of this panel that are, you know, get us our 6 inches on the edge spacing. So that's what they called for, so that's what we're doing. And double LVLs seems like a lot to me, but their program called for it. And I'd rather it be overbuilt than underbuilt. That's a theme for this house, I think. Okay, so I need to go bend this one a bit.